All right, welcome back again for a lower bracket game between Ball State and Purdue Fort Wayne. So, I don't think very many people expected Ball State to be here. So tell us a little bit about this matchup and what you expect to see here.
So, from what I understand, what was more so an upset was Ball State even entering the losers bracket in general this early, because I know the big three for this tournament were PFW, Ball State, and IU. And actually, I may even go with a fourth there, and I thought that Purdue was also really, really credible too. But, I don't really know. I don't know exactly what to expect. League of Legends is one of those games with over 100 champions. 100 champions that, unless you've been playing since the beginning, are impossible to learn. So,
absolutely.
That's the case. You can only expect anything to possibly happen.
And then Riot releases a absolute monstrosity in Cassante. And
right.
He 1v9s the game as a tank, assassin, bruiser, mage, true damage, AD carry support. There's nothing to do about it. But I hope Ball State learned their lesson, and if they're not playing that champion, they ban it, because that has been disgusting all day. But for the Purdue Fort Wayne side, they have a chance to bounce back here.
Absolutely. I don't want to count them out. They're definitely here to play. I don't think that they even played that terribly in the games that they did play. I just think that they had some unfortunate cards, and there's some it's more so the unfair champions that have been dictating these battles.
Yeah, and we're gonna jump right in draft early, and just to add on to that point, yes, they did lose their first game to Purdue, but they earned the right to be here. They've got to be at least a good enough team to be at this. They won their group, or they got out of their group. They didn't win their group. I think Ball State won their group.
Right.
But they got out of their group, which is an accomplishment in itself. You're here, you're competing, and now it's do or die. Your back's against the wall. Let's see what you have. I want to see, people pick comfort. People pick their strong champs, and let's play. And as we can already see, we got Ball State on the red side with that Cassante first ban.
Yep, yeah,
it's out.
That'll happen.
They have vanquished their demons in banning that champion. We see Silk Flannels, Fiora getting banned. I don't quite understand the Draven and the Pantheon because we haven't seen it yet, but that's probably just more me not knowing much about Ball State's.
Right, that's probably more player-based.
More than it is about not being the correct bans. So I'm sure they've done a lot of research on that. And the Syndra ban, that means Oriana's up. I would love to see an Oriana first pick here for Purdue Fort Wayne. Oriana or Jarvan, one of those two, are perfect first picks here. Or even Xayah, one of those three.
So what do those three agents, or I say agents, what do those three champions bring to the table?
So Oriana's definitely the best mid laner in the game.
It looks like that's what we're looking at.
And we would exactly love this. Best mid laner in the game by far. Just lock it in. It's a no-brainer. You can't go wrong. Perfect. She's best mid laner in the game right now. Super strong champ. Very
versatile util kit.
Yeah. A ton of damage as well, but she's easy to pilot. She's a good floor. You can't mess her up too bad. She has a very high skill ceiling as well, and hopefully Kilroy can use that champion to its full advantage. And a Ziggs coming out here from Ball State, that's cool too, because it can be used anywhere. It could be mid, it could be or AD carry, and then the Jarvan to follow up. Love the Jarvan, like I said.
I've heard that name about, I want to say at least 13 times today.
Absolutely the best jungler in the game, followed by Vi, which I would love to see Purdue Fort Wayne lock in Vi Xayah right here. Although,
what is Vi? I don't think I've ever heard that one.
Vi's a jungler. She's very strong. We've seen her a couple times today, and she's very good into the Jarvan, and she's very good into a lot of the immobile champions getting picked.
Right.
But they might be scared to pick Xayah here because this could be Ziggs bot lane. Completely makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We see a Leona coming out and an Amumu hover. 2 comfort picks, 2 strong team fighting champs. Will pair well with the Oriana, who's already a very good team fighter. I think I'd be happy to see this from Purdue Fort Wayne. It was a very well thought out and good, strong draft strategy if this is what they go for, and they do.
Right. Well, already off the bat, we can already see both teams already making some adaptable plays, especially with the agents that they chose. I'm going to keep saying agents,
You're
man.
You're good. Valorant player.
No, I hate Valorant. No, but as I was saying, they are definitely adapting. They're banning the champions they know they don't want to see, obviously for good reasons, because they're just kind of dominating the field right now.
Absolutely. And they're picking things that they're comfortable on and the way they want to play. They want to play this strong team fight. They pick strong team fight. And on the other side for Ball State, they're going in a different direction than what we've seen previously. They are picking these broken champions. Ziggs bot lane, absolutely disgusting broken. And even mid lane, very strong. Jarvan, best jungler in the game, extremely broken. All-Star has been perma-pick ban at Worlds right now, extremely broken. Great matchup into Leona.
Why is that?
Why is he picked all the time?
Right.
Because he's just so tanky when he gets his ult, and he has so much engage potential, whether it's, coming over a wall with Hex Flash on mid lane, behind mid laner, making a play on them.
So would you consider him the best champion in the game right now?
No. The best champion in the game right now is probably Cassante, but he's banned. So
right.
Actually, it's not probably Cassante. It is Cassante.
We're probably going to see Cassante banned all for the rest of the series.
Unless you're first picking it. Red side, I think today. So Red side's the side that gets second pick. They got to ban Cassante every game. They should just ban it. Just get rid of it. Because it's so strong. And everyone can play it. The Xayah ban is a little interesting. Okay, so Purdue Fort Wayne read that this was Ziggs mid, not Ziggs AD carry, which is why they banned double AD carry. I expected them to ban double mid lane or double strong top lane, really, is probably what I would have banned if I was Purdue Fort Wayne. But it makes sense. They read it was Ziggs mid lane, so ban AD carries that are really strong, and Xayah, Kai'Sa, perfect bans.
It looks like we're looking at Zeri as well here. What does Zeri bring to the field?
Zeri is strong hyper carry, absolutely super strong hyper carry, can do a ton of damage, and again, fits with the theme of full team fight, but you need a strong AD top laner right here. And I mean, I don't know exactly what Moosefern plays. I know he played the Alawi earlier today. Malphite, I mean, you just asked him to get silenced.
You sound a little unconfident about that Malphite.
Yeah,
why so?
Well, because Ball State could lock in Silas right here, and Silas has so many good ultimates that he can steal and a great lane, but they're going to go the Rumble. Okay. I mean,
we've seen Rumble a couple times today, and I definitely have to say Rumble was, he definitely brought a lot more to the table, and he made a lot of impact.
Yeah. And, I think if I'm Ball State there, I would much rather have the Silas because you have Malphite, Amumu, Leona ults to take.
Right.
Very, very strong ults. And the champion of Malphite is disgusting. Like, it's. I think recently a Rioter said it's the best matchup in the game in Silas versus Malphite, mid, top, and jungle. There's no bigger win rate disparity between any other counter matchups.
Okay.
So it's like, if you pick Silas into Malphite, you win the game. Like, I think it was like 73% of the time or
Really?
something ridiculous like that. Yeah, it's insane.
And that's something you kind of got to expect when there's so many champions in the game, that the different combinations are going to be a little bit stronger than others. And a lot of them, not just a little bit, but a lot of it. Yeah,
but we end up getting the Rumble, which is fine. I think Rumble is probably behind Cassante as the best top laner in the game. When piloted well, I'm sure Silk Flannel can pilot it. But for the side of Purdue Fort Wayne, we lock in the Malphite, which I think is a good champ in the scheme of what they're doing. They're going for this full team fight. The only worry I have for them is they are very AP heavy, meaning they're not doing a lot of AD damage. They're doing a lot of magic damage. So if the other team itemizes a lot of MR, I'm not sure you're going to have enough damage, even with Amumu's passive making a lot of that magic damage true damage. I just don't know if you have enough.
I guess in that sense, one of their main goals is to be going for the Ocean Dragons then, right? To get more mana.
Mountains will give you, for Purdue Fort Wayne?
I believe we were just talking about Purdue Fort Wayne with the more magic-based teams.
Oh yeah, they want Infernal Dragons. They want something that's going to amp that damage, or Hex Tech, to get the cooldown reductions, or maybe you would not like a Cloud just to get the ult speed. But at the end of the day, I just think they have too much magic damage on their team that they're going to have to highly prioritize getting the Zeri fed so that they do have enough AD to deal with them. But
I'm gonna need some flashcards for all these different
champions.
There's
a lot of terms, a lot of champs, a lot of things being thrown out there.
Something like that on Quizlet for us college students.
Absolutely, there's someone's made a League of Legends champion Quizlet for sure. Absolutely, I think between the two comps, I think I favor Ball States just because they have a better damage mix. And they have more power picks, like in the Jarvan, Rumble, Ziggs, and All-Star, very strong champions. But I think if Purdue Fort Wayne can utilize their comp to its fullest and, get to the like 15, 20-minute mark without being at a big gold deficit, they could definitely win this game.
So you would consider them to be more of a late game type team as opposed to early?
Yeah, I would expect this team comp to go down, no matter who's playing it. I would expect the team comp to go down like 500 to 1.5K gold naturally. Like, you don't have much prio in these lanes. You're not going to have much skirmish ability. You're really banking on meeting at a dragon at like 20, 25 minutes. Maybe even if the soul, the 4th dragon, is delayed even later, that's better for you. But you're waiting for those, and then you're team fighting. Or when you all are level 6, if you get a good Herald fight when everybody's level 6 at 8 minutes, definitely go for that. But I expect them to play a slower game and really bank on this very, very strong team fight comp.
Right. See, and that was like a newer concept for me, not being a League of Legends player. Earlier hearing about how there's different comp sets that you can do for early game versus late game. That was something that I was kind of like, oh, that's a new element. There's just so many different elements to this game.
Oh, there's so many. This game is one of the most intricate games on the planet. Purely, it's not like a fighter game or like Smash Bros, for example, where it's very mechanical heavy. It's about frame perfect inputs. This game is a thought experiment of a game. You are, from the very beginning in draft, you were thinking about all these different iterations of champions and what should be picked here and what should be picked here.
I don't know how Riot balances all this. I mean, it's
numbers,
it's not very balanced, but to essentially take all these champions and throw them all into the game. It's something that for me I would never see working, but yet League of Legends is probably one of the, I want to say, most watched esports.
Oh, it is without a doubt the most watched esports in the world, without a doubt, biggest one in the world for a fact. And to answer your question, or not to answer your question, but to make a comment. People say League is a completely unbalanced and horrible game, and I've definitely been mad at the game and fallen victim to like, Riot, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But I will say this current patch, I think, is one of the best patches they've had in a while. The game feels really good.
Well, we just had 2 recent patches, right?
Yeah, but this current one, I love it. I think it's great. Everything is, besides Cassante, there's a lot of... Besides Cassante, I think most champions are at a very relatively strong power level, and they can all impact the game in some way, and especially the roles. But looking at this game, I want to see Jarvan impact this bot lane early and often. Or I want to see him impact plays onto the immobile Orianna. Don't let Orianna have a chance to get into this game, because Orianna and Zeri are really Purdue Fort Wayne's win cons. If those two are shut down early, it's going to be a pretty easy chance for Ball State to win the game. And on the other side for Purdue Fort Wayne, I want to see this Amumu make sure my Orianna's safe, make sure she's ahead, and then always try to make plays bot side.
What was it that Orianna held that made her such a strong champion to pick?
She holds a little ball that she controls and commands around. So every time you see her, you'll see that little ball over her head. Sometimes she'll throw it out. The ball does all her damage. Orianna is her ball is Orianna. There is, by herself, she's nothing. So when her ball is on her, she gets some like HP, or not HP, MR and armor. Makes her a little bit more tanky. But
she wasn't the champion that when she dies, she loses that, right?
No.
Okay.
It'll be back. When she dies, she'll spawn with her ball. So. But as we can see in this mid lane, Ziggs completely outranges Orianna. It is a difficult matchup. So as we're seeing a little bit, she's losing a lot of health, making sure she's trying to get some of this CS. Every time she goes up, she's going to get harassed. The same way in this top side. Every time Malphite tries to get a CS, he's going to be harassed by Rumble. This is just the nature of picking some of these losing lanes. Or not losing, well, definitely losing lanes, but stronger late game champions. You're going to lose this prio early, you're going to get pushed in, and you're going to get contested for every single CS you go for.
Seeing right now, it looks like Ball State actually has a little bit of an advantage here, as it looks like they are taking a lot more space, getting their minions up further, and especially the top lane here with that annoying flamethrower tanking so many bars of health from PFW's top laner right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In these losing lane matchups, you are going to be harassed over and over and over again for every single time you go and get a CS. And as we can see, Amumu is pathing up to this top side, which is probably okay. You might be able to make a play on this Rumble. Rumble's going to spot him out, trying to go for this Scuttle. Just get your Scuttle. We know Jarvan's bot side. and then just keep trying to. If you're Brew Fort Wayne, you're okay with these slow lanes. You're okay going down some CS. Like I said, you're going to naturally fall behind some CS or some gold, but you need to make sure you don't fall too far behind by the time you get to these dragons.
I mean, we're only about like what 300 gold away right now, so it's not too. Oh, and we're about to see what might be our first one. First blood is down to the top lane with BSU taking their first opponent.
Yeah, and that's just Silk Flannel making a play, an individual play. We saw this earlier in this top lane matchup. If you to get these losing matchups, it's very hard to not fall behind too hard, and it takes a lot of skill to be able to do that. And right there with the Ignite, there's not very much skill in that. He just hits one E, he spits that flame out with his Q, Flame Spitter, and I mean, Malphite just can't do anything about that. She just dies. So well played there by Silk Flannel, and a slight mistake there from Moose Fam.
Right. Well, it looks like there's a lot of aggression and a lot of tension going on down here in the bottom lane. All 4 players down here look to be at about even level. And Arias has about to say that Ball State's, both their champions have just leveled up one more time. And it looks like they're going to be sending themselves out of the bottom lane.
They're just gonna collect this wave under tower. Ball State's bot lane's gonna go get some vision, protect themselves a little. But honestly, this Purdue Fort Wayne bot laner, I'm going to call him Cuddler, because I don't know how to pronounce the first part of his name, Cuddler. He's doing a good job making sure he is picking up this CS under tower. When you're getting constantly shoved under tower, it can be pretty hard to do it. But he's doing a good job keeping it even. He also bought a coal, which means anytime he gets a CS, he gets 1 extra gold, and at the end of collecting 100 CS, he gets 350 more gold.
Okay, so, and that's actually really big for their team.
For their late game, yeah. So even if he falls behind a little,
so that is what makes them more of a late game team. Not just that champion alone, but that is definitely what
that's
kind
a
of
good item
sways
choice.
Into that field.
Yeah, he picked a good item choice to do that too. Oh, that's the flash there out of Kilroy. Just Wombat Baby playing very, very precise there. He's hitting these Qs. He's getting Kilroy very weak. And, if that ult would have landed, he would have died. So good on Kilroy to flash the ultimate, make sure he doesn't die, collect his CS, get a base in, get back onto the
And it looks like the jungler's actually playing kind of close by. It seemed like he was a little bit nervous there that we might lose the mid laner. And it looks like he's going to be positioning himself into a different position. But there's a lot of damage going on in the bottom turret right now from BSU on PFW, and it looks like we're about to see what is going to be an intense skirmish where there's a lot of bars dropping. They're going to be backing up. And Kilroy, who now has almost a sliver of HP left, is probably going to be backing up and channeling some points to get away.
Yeah, he definitely needs to reset. He's going to lose some minions mid, but it's okay. Like I said, it's fine to fall behind slowly. They're definitely falling behind a little bit more than they should be. You're missing a little bit of CS, but like I said, your team comp is purely about team fighting at the end. Oh, he could die one more E, and he's going to fall.
And that is going to be another point for BSU, who has now taken down the top lane once again. What do you think Purdue Fort Wayne, or specifically the champion who's playing in that top lane, what do you think he needs to do to readjust?
I mean, he just needs to be able to be more willing to give up more. You picked Malphite blind, which means you are saying, okay, I'm going to give up a lot. I know I'm going to give up a lot. You're going to pick a counter matchup into me, but I'm going to stay alive, and I'm going to fight you later in the game with my whole team. I would have liked to see a Doran shield over a Doran's ring start, so you get some more of that sustain and staying healthy. But right now, you're already too far behind. You can't contest anything. If you have to give something up, give it up. Just make sure you're collecting XP. You don't need to be getting the gold. You are Malphite at the end of the day. Just collect the XP. Just don't keep dying. Just don't stop the bleeding at this point.
Right.
You can't let it go too far.
And so we saw Silk go back to the spawn. When you go back to the spawn like that after taking that much space, is that necessarily so that you can upgrade more of your components, take the gold that you've just received, and then put it into your own team?
Yeah, Silk Flannel, he pushes the minions under tower, which means that Moose Fam is going to miss those minions. He's not going to get that gold, and Silk Flannel can go ahead and spend his own gold, buy items, get stronger, so he can continue to pressure this Malphite and maybe kill him more.
Right, and it looks like this actual mid turret here has taken almost half of the bars away. Is that something that you really want to have on your mid turret, or is that something that's going to make you nervous?
No, yeah, it's definitely not a good thing. So Orianna is very good at controlling lane, and in this matchup, she definitely should be able to keep her tower relative. Oh, we see a flash in here from Quaco, and the jungler is right there. That's going to be a dead Orianna. Another play there for the Ball State, and we're seeing this heavy trading topside as well. But as I was saying, Ziggs is very good at taking towers, but if Orianna can, dodge some skill shots, stay healthy, collect the wave, she can stop him from taking towers. But this tower is going to fall to that Ziggs bomb.
That is not what you want from PFW there. As we've seen earlier in previous matches, once that mid turret goes down, especially when you get something like the Rift Herald.
And we are seeing a play here in the top side too. That's going to be the Cataclysm come down onto the Mumu, and another kill for the side of Ball State. And that's a very good play there by Quaka? I'm not sure. Actually, the support there for Ball State.
Quaka. We can say Quaka.
We'll say Quaka.
That's a good one.
The support there for Ball State, making plays on the map. He realizes that Sivir's completely fine by herself in this 1v2.
Right.
There's not much pressure Purdue Fort Wayne can put on her. Let's get the All-Star around on the map, and this is what I was saying. Very strong power pick because he can make these plays to be super tanky, and he can impact the map.
Right, it looks like Purdue Fort Wayne actually is going to get a little more aggressive here. They're coming up to take some damage, or put some damage down on this turret, but it looks like they may have gotten a little too greedy. They're going to have to back up because Blaster is absolutely blasting them right now and taking away their HP.
That E did miss there, or Blaster spell shielded it. I did miss which one happened, but we are seeing more fighting here. Amu was trying to take the blue buff, but All-Star is there. Blaster's going to hit him back. He is completely isolated from his team with no flash. They're going to get this kill. Oh!
There's not much you can do there, especially when 3 people are just continuing to just knock down the rest of your bars, and he can't get away. I don't even think if you flashed away, you'd even be able to manage to get out.
Yeah, he was completely dead.
He's just out of his element.
We're seeing more trading here on the top side. Malphite does have ult, but I don't think he's going to be able to do enough damage. He's probably going to have to use his ult to get away. The Ignite does go down.
He did manage to back up and get away, but that almost was messy, where the top laner almost lost it one more time.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly. Oh, the ult comes down, but he is probably going to. Oh, he almost kills him.
They just buried him. It's Flannel does get it again.
Oh, Mumu is onto the Ziggs, though, with that Vantage Toss. And huge flash there from Wombat Baby. Dodges everything, but the Vantage Toss hits again. Is this going to be a kill for the side of Purdue Fort Wayne, or is Ball State going to get...
No, and it looks like they're going to be backing up. Oh, and what a snipe! What a snipe!
Oh, that's just a very well played by Wombat Baby, Jinsu, I think. Yeah, Jinsu hit the bandage toss to get on top of him initially, but he didn't have ultimate. And he didn't time the solar flare with Leona well enough to keep Wombat Baby CC'd, so the solar flare missed, and we are seeing that Zeri is going to use flash and goes. Does she get away? She is going to get away, but loses half her health and both her sum.
Right, and in that last play, though, see, what was really nice was Wombat Baby did a lot of damage, but he was also getting away at the right time, and after he managed to get away, Boatlick was right there to stop and prevent PFW from continuing to pursue that fight.
Absolutely. But it's just a little bit of a disconnect there. You hit the bandage toss, the solar flare is going to come down instantly. And we are seeing a more trading down here on the bot lane, but Peddler has no sums. All-Star can tank this tower forever. He is going to tank. He's going to get onto the stun onto the Blaster. Very nice stun on the own, but Zeri's going to fall anyways. He's a 4v1 now. Amumu just has to leave, sacrifice the Leona for the greater good, Amumu.
This is going to be another turret lost to 4 people standing on top of it, and Silk Flannel is still doing damage on the top lane. He is just completely dominating it, and that's something that you can't have in the top lane.
Yeah.
You want to be annoying. You want to stay alive. You just want to continue fighting each other. As I mentioned in a previous match, it's guerrilla tactics. You go up, you hit, you back up. You don't want to stand in that flame. Well, actually, specifically, you don't want to stand in that flame too long, and that seems to continue happening.
Yeah, and it's just falling apart all over the map, especially once you get that mid tower down. As soon as that mid tier 1 falls, it opens up the map for everything. So with that satchel charge from Ziggs, he got that mid tower very early, and then he walked bot lane. On that play, he gets that bot lane very quickly because the satchel charge executes the tower from, I think it's 15% health level 1. So he's just able to run around and get towers. I would not be surprised if on this base, he walks top lane and starts playing for this top tower, try and get a this tower down too. Okay, he's just gonna TP bot though.
Well,
Play
what
for
do you
this.
think? What do you think PFW needs to do? So obviously, you mentioned earlier that they didn't want to be at too much of a goal disadvantage, but that seems to be the case now. Also, with BSU taking what looks to be 2 turrets and 1 Rift Herald.
Oh, the Malphite does have ultimate to get away, but he
Is gonna
doesn't
get
use
taken
it.
one more time with Silk Flannel getting another kill on the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, as you're saying, this gold deficit is absolutely massive, and this is what we saw earlier when Purdue Fort Wayne played their game. But at this point in the game, I said it before, you have to cheat the game.
Right.
You can't listen to stock standard League of Legends. You can't listen to, you know, how you should be playing the game. You have to do weird things that don't make any sense, that catches Ball State off guard and gets you some shutdowns. And you got to do that over and over and over again. Because at this,
we're gearing up for a team fight here.
yeah, and
All the players are getting into position.
yeah, we're not gonna really see any objectives go down or force anything to happen for another 2-3 minutes. But the Jarvan down, oh,
He
huge!
does catch him, and Botlick is now on a rampage. It looks like they're going to try to get the trade. He is airborne, and he is going to get completely surrounded by them, and he does manage to make out and get away closer to his teammates where they cannot pursue him.
Yeah, a little hit and run there for the Jarvan. You know, he got in, killed the Zeri, and I mean, he tanked everything and got out. And this is something that we saw. He's going to go back in, but the Malphite's here as well. But I don't think they have any damage. The ultimate's going to go down. All-Star goes over the wall. Jarvan does hit it. That Sivir is going to kill the Amumu. Oh, he pushed him back over the wall right onto his Sivir, gifting him a kill, but Jarvan steals it. Blaster's begging for the gold.
This is not what you want if you are playing for PFW right now. And unfortunately, with the deficit of money, the deficit of all the space gained on the map, now this is where we're starting to look into the area where they're going to have a hard time even getting into the jungle and even, you know, attempting to even get more money for themselves to use.
Yeah, at this point it becomes really hard. You know, the map is completely destroyed. You have no towers. You haven't gotten a tower. You just don't have control over anything. The best you can hope for is to sit in your lanes, collect your gold, and then try and cheat. You're gonna have to make a play somehow.
Is it possible for PFW to come back here? I mean, especially with BSU having 2 dragons, they don't even have 1 to their name. They don't have 1 turret. They don't have 1 Rift Herald. What could they possibly do right now?
Like I said, they gotta cheat, but this game, like I said, League of Legends is a very, very hard and punishing game to come back from.
Very unforgiving.
If you start in another kill there for Silk Flannel, another solo there, it's just a very hard thing to come back from. When you're down gold, like for example, that Jarvan made that play.
Right.
And Purdue Fort Wayne did a good job at countering it, but they just don't have the gold and the damage and the items to actually kill anybody. So
essentially, all BSU really needs to do is walk around as almost not even a 5-man team. They could walk around with just 3 people and probably dominate most team fights.
at this point with this gold lead, absolutely. If I'm Ball State, you know, you could get this Herald and then push down mid, dive them on the mid tower one.
Right.
Yeah, they're absolutely getting
No
it.
question about that.
They're going to be able to get this mid tier 1, push it down. And for example, like this game feels really bad. Okay, really nice.
Got away.
Really nice flash over that wall though. It's kind of a hard flash. But it feels really bad. For example, Oriana had to sell her Doran's ring to get to this point of having 1 item. So it feels there's not much you can really do, if I'm being honest. You just have to hope that Ball State throws more than you can make a proactive play at this point.
Right. Well, Herald's about a minute away, is it? Or
No, they have Herald, so they're probably going to play it here. And with Ziggs,
that's
they
not
take
good.
these towers super fast. Sivir actually picked up the Herald, which is kind of funny. Normally the jungler, like a top laner or split pusher, picks it up, but
well, I don't even think it really matters at this point with how like massive of a lead they have.
and this is what Ball State's really good at. When they get an advantage and they get a lead, oh, they are going to punish you and they're going to kick your teeth in over and over. They do this to the best teams in CLOL. When they get a lead, they are dominating. And Cataclysm comes down. Big shockwave though, but the Rumble over the top is nice Malphite hold as well. But everybody's going to fall because they have no gold. Kilroy dies as well. It's a double kill for Wombat, baby.
1 player remaining.
Zeri's the only hope left. Jarvan goes in. Do they have the damage?
There's nothing you can do, and that
Absolutely
looks like
do.
that's going to be the game. That is a nice ace on the field. The turret is going to be going down, and they are going to destroy the last lifeline of PFW, and this is going to be game.
And we are going to see a dancing Shelly as well for the 2nd time today. Just a very clean game from Ball State, and
They did not drop a single person.
it was actually a perfect game. They didn't drop a tower.
Is there a term
death.
for that? Or,
Yeah, it's called a perfect game. It's
a perfect game?
It's
Okay.
an award you get in league. If you have a perfect game, you get like an icon or something weird, or like some challenge progress. But very, very strong gameplay there from Ball State. I mean, this is what you expect from a tournament favorite. They rebounded after their last game where they ended up falling to IU in a
so now is Ball State going to continue? So they're going to have to keep playing back to back to back now, right? To continue fighting their way through the bracket.
The next game will be.
Well, this next game, I believe this is a PFW versus IU, isn't it?
I believe that's the next game as well.
And then Ball State's looking through all the losers brackets, right?
Yep, and then it's going to be Ball State Purdue, and those two teams, fighting from the lower bracket, they've got to catch momentum, and they can't lose it. They got to just keep winning and winning and winning.
Right.
But on the other side, since this is going to be the last game we're going to see them, we have. Let's thank Purdue Fort Wayne, for showing up.
Absolutely.
And like we said, even getting here is an achievement because you were the bottom of your group. I think they were the lowest seed.
Well, so Purdue Fort Wayne, I believe their esports program is actually generally quite kind of new as well.
No, it's absolutely very new. But
there's a lot of room to grow. There's a lot of players that can gain over time, and I visited PFW. Their school is beautiful. I love their campus, and I wish I was able to explore more of their esports program. And I really do look forward to seeing more of them in further coming tournaments.
Yeah, and like I said, they got out of their group, qualified to be here on this land. So you came up against some titans of Indiana esports in Ball State and in Purdue. So you got to keep your head up high. Like you just said, improve. And we hope to see them next year, and hopefully a well-improved, more refined team that's practiced a whole bunch. But there are definitely some good things to look at through these games.
And furthermore onto that topic, especially for the battle for Indiana, there were way more teams even than last year that were all competing and qualifying for this.
Yeah.
So just being here in general, as you said, is an achievement on its own. We thank PFW, but we do have an interview coming up, and we are going to be shooting back to that. But do not go anywhere because we have more League of Legends following after this.
Welcome back to the stage. I'm here with Wombat Baby, who was the mid laner for Ball State. How are you feeling off that win?
Feeling really good. Last game had some against Indiana. We had some issues in the early game, but I think we really cleared those up this time, and the game obviously went a lot better because of that.
Yeah, for sure. And we were just talking about Ziggs before this. What is your thoughts on the champion overall?
I think Ziggs is really strong. He's a really good flex pick. He can go both mid and bot. But I love playing him mid. He's really safe, control, pumps out a lot of damage, just good in team fights, good for pushing. It's just really strong champ in my opinion, yeah.
Yeah, now you guys are currently in the lower bracket, and you got to work, I guess, to get back out of that. Do you guys have like a certain strategy? You don't have to like reveal your secrets, but is there something you guys are trying to do to make sure you're guaranteeing that spot in the finals?
I think we're pretty solid in terms of draft. It's just in-game execution, so it's just focus up early game, don't get too far behind. We dug ourselves a big hole, so we just got to not do that, and it should be smooth sailing from there.
Awesome. And then you said this is your second year here. You were you were here when you won last year. What's that like? Coming back, defending your title, stuff like that.
I think it puts a little bit of a target on your back from everyone trying to take you down and take the trophy for themselves. But I think we have a really good shot of taking it again this year. We just got to play like we did this game, and then we'll be good.
Yeah, and so one obstacle in your way is Purdue next, your next match. What is your thoughts going into that? What is your thoughts going into that match?
I think we just got to keep our fundamentals. I think if we do that, we should be good. Not really much else to say. Just fundamentals.
Yeah. Well, best of luck with the rest of your matches, and we're going to send it